Hi everyone, hello, I hope all of you are doing well. My name is Shriya Bansal and today we will be talking about our second problem on recursion. Okay, so we have already taken a look at the first problem where we had to find the length of a string using recursion. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to solve our second problem. And first, we'll take a look at the problem statement. We'll see what it expects from us, and then we'll take a look at the input output, and then we'll figure out an optimized way to solve this question. Once we have figured out an optimized way to solve this question, then we are going to move ahead to actually implement the logic for this particular problem and see if it works well or not. Okay. So the problem statement says that we need to write a program to check if a number is palindrome or not using recursion. Okay. So first of all, for understanding this question, you should know what a palindrome is. Okay. So let me give you an example. First, let's go with the very basic definition for palindrome. Okay. So it is said any string is a palindrome if it reads the same forward or back, forward and backward. Okay, so here understand that we are not really dealing with a string and we are dealing with numbers. Okay, so that is also pretty much the same. Let's say here if I have a string which says something like this. Okay, now if I read this string from front to back, okay, which will be this, or if I read this string from back to front, which will be A, B, A, right, sorry, this A which is in the end is now coming to the first, then this A here comes here, and then this A, C, A, B, A, right? So if I read the string forward and backward, it is the exact same string, correct? For example, I'll take another example for a name, let's say Naman. So if I read this name from forwards to backwards or backwards to forward, okay, it remains exactly the same name. So the strings which are palindrome, they're going to be read the same whether you read it from forward or whether you read it from the back. Okay, for example, A, B, B. Is this a palindrome string? Now, if I will reverse it and I will read it the opposite direction, this will come out to be this. Now, these both are not same. Hence, this string is not a palindromic string. Now, remember, for this question, we are very specifically talking about numbers. Okay? So, to figure out if a number is palindrome or not, right, you take it backwards again, and this is what it is. So, in this case, this string is indeed a palindrome. But let's say if I take this, this is when read backward gives us this, which is not the same. Hence, this string is not palindrome. So you can see in the input also, one string given to you in the input is 1, 2 and 1. And hence, when you read it from the backwards, it's again 1, 2 and 1 only. And hence, yes, you do get that the string is a palindrome. When you take example 2, the string is 1, 2 and 2. When you will reverse it and when you will read it backwards, you will get 2, 2 and 1. Okay, so hence this string is not palindrome. Right? Remember, those strings would be considered as palindromes which reads the same forward and backward. Okay? And if that is a scenario, if you can figure out a string which reads the same, it is a palindrome. So in the output, you will print yes, otherwise you will print no. Okay? So now that we have a good understanding on what the questions expect from us, now let's see how we can solve this. Okay? So now, if you really look at it and if you really try to demystify the question and the approach which is required to solve it, right, you will see that the question firstly asks you to solve this question using recursion, right? And we all know that for solving any question using recursion, you need to have 3 things in that solution. First, you should have a base case, because you are repeatedly making recursive calls, so you need to stop at some point, and that stopping case is known as the base case. Secondly, you will have to do some self-work. Right? That means after getting the solution for the smaller problem, on top of it also you would have to do some work, right, to find the solution for the bigger problem. And then you make recursive calls as well. Right? So recursive calls to the smaller problem. Okay? Now to solve this question, to figure out if a string reads the same forward or backward or not, I have a very simple way out in this. What we can do is, let's say I have a string like this. Okay, can I do this simple task that I can reverse this string, right? And then verify if the original string is equal to the reverse string, correct? Another example, let's say I have a string this. I will reverse it, okay? And this will give me 4, 3, 2 and 1. And then I will compare the original string and the reverse string. If the original string is equal to the reverse string, then we can say that the given string is a palindrome. Otherwise, it is not a palindrome. Does that make sense to everyone? So the simple steps that we will follow is, right, given string, given str string, we will reverse it. So I'll write the first step as reverse the input string. Right, and then what we are going to do is we are going to compare the original string and the reverse string. Okay, and then if both are same, then we can say that the original string is a palindrome. Correct? Otherwise, it is not a palindrome. Okay? Simple enough, right? I have written a good simplistic pseudocode for solving this question. Now the only thing left is to actually convert this algorithm, this pseudocode, into a actual implemented logic so that we can verify if our algorithm is correct or not. Okay. Remember, since you have to solve this question using recursion, so what we will do is the task for reversing the input string, we will implement that using recursion. Okay. Does everyone remember the logic for reversing a given input string? So we used to do it something like this. So if I have, let's say, an input string 1, 2, 3, and 4, and let's say this is the number which has been given to us, the input number which needs to be reversed. So first of all, I will take a temporary variable equal to 0. Okay. Now what I will do is, I need the last digit of this number, which will basically become the first digit of the reverse number. And how do I get 4 from 1, 2, 3, 4? I can simply do 1, 2, 3, 4 modulo 10, which will give me the remainder, which is 4. Correct? So, and that what I will do is, I will do 0 into 10 plus 4, which was the remainder. Right? And this will give me 4, which indeed is now the first digit of the reversed string. Okay. Now what I need is, I just need this string now, right? I don't need the last digit. So how do you let go of the last digit of a number? You do 1, 2, 3, 4 divide by 10. So when you do the division operator, it gives you the quotient, right? So for that, you will get 1, 2, and 3. So after always finding the remainder, apply the division operator, and that will give you the n-1 digits, or the first n-1 digits. Now what you will do is, on this number itself, again you will apply the modulo operator, and that will give you 3. Now to add this to 3, I will do 4 into 10 plus 3, because we're shifting the positions, right? Earlier 4 was at the ones place, right? Now 4 needs to come over here. So if I do 4 into 10, 4 will come over here, and then when I add 3, this will give me 43. Again, what you do is, this number will now be reduced to 12 by again doing 123 by 10. Now you have 12. Again, take this digit, which is nothing but 12 mod 10, right? And again, to make this number accommodating 2 as well, multiply 43 by 10, which will give, and plus you will do 2. So that will give you 432. Correct? Once you get 432, again reduce this number to 12 by 10. This will give you 1. So you have to keep on doing this operation. These are nothing but all the recursive calls that are happening over here. Okay? And the base case for all this would be that we will keep on doing this till the time this number does not become 0. So this is 1. When I do 1 modulo 10, it will give me 1 only. So multiply this by 10 and add 1. So this is 4, 3, 2 and 1. Okay? And then once you're done with this, just do this and that will give you 0. The moment you figure out that the original string is now reduced to 0, that's when you actually stop. Okay? Because now you've actually reversed all the entire number by taking each and every character number digit one by one from the end and appending it to the start in the correct order. And now the moment you have the reversed number, that is this, just compare it with the original number. So if the reverse number and the original number are same, that means you're done. Otherwise, you still have to, otherwise the given string is not a palindrome. Or the given number over here is not a palindrome. Right? I hope this is clear to everyone. Right? The major part that you have to do over here is just reversing the input string. After that, it's more or less if-else logics to implement the original string and the reverse string and then to implement this. Okay? Now let's see how we can do this. So I will write a function check palindrome. Okay? And for this, right, we basically just need to reverse a string. Right? So rather, since the main logic is just to reverse a string, we can directly just write the function for reverse only. Here I'll pass end the original string, right, and rev is the reverse string. So end over here is the original string or original number, and rev is the reversed number. Okay, although initially its initial value will be 0. Okay, so we'll come back to the logic of reversing a number. Let's say we are able to get a reverse number in this. Okay, so to solve this question, let's say the number is 1 to 1. Okay, and then we basically call the reverse function on the original number and the reverse digit is initially passed as 0. So here this will give you the reversed number as this. Okay, if n was the original number is equal to the reverse number, then you do console.log. Yes, that means it is a palindrome. Otherwise, you do console.log. No, that means it is not a palindrome number. Okay, now we come to the logic where we have to reverse a number. Again, remember you have to take care of 3 things. You have to add a base case, right? You need to do some self work and you need to make recursive calls. Okay, so first we'll add a base case. So if while dividing the original number, okay, if at any time the number is reduced to 0, that means we can return the reverse string. Okay, apart from that, what we will do is whenever we have to form the reverse number, first whatever is stored in the reversed variable so far, we will multiply it by 10, right? Plus what we will add the remainder what we got when we divided or did the modulo of that number. Okay, so this is our base case. This is our self work that we are doing to form the answer. And then we make a recursive call. Okay, so what we do in this particular scenario is, now we need to make the further call for the reverse function. Okay, now n will be nothing but n by 10. okay, and followed by that we are passing the reversed number, okay. And for this, since it n by 10 over here can give you I would say a modulo like a decimal answer as well, so just to be safe you can do this, okay. Because remember, when we do n by 10, right, let's say if I do 123 by 10, okay, so it can also give me it gives me 12.3, okay, but you actually just need 12, so that is why I have done math.floor over here, okay. Remember, because here in JavaScript, when you do take any number and when it divided by 10, right, it doesn't just give you the integer value, it tries to divide exactly how much it can and then it tries to give a decimal answer, but we don't need the decimal values, we just need the integer values. So let's see if this works. Oh, sorry, this is the reversed function. See, yes, indeed, 1 to 1 is a palindrome. Let's try for this and see if this is a palindrome. See, no, it is not a palindrome. Let's try to do for this as well. 1, 2, 2 and 1. Okay, it is giving false for here. Let's see what the reversed number is. We can do this. 1 to 1. Okay, yeah, I think it was giving no for some other input. I didn't save the file. Okay, so this is correct only. Let's try for, let's say, adding 3, 3 also in between and then what it gives us. See, again, it's giving us yes. That means the approach that we have discussed is absolutely correct and it is working for all types of numbers. Okay, so if you see, although the question was asking you to find out whether a number is palindrome or not, indeed it was just asking you to reverse a number, right? So the overall crux of the problem was to reverse a number, but the problem is usually asked in a different way. Okay, so I hope I was helpful in solving and helping you solve this question, right? And I will see you in the next question. Thank you. Bye.